Ladies and gentlemen, football season is no longer something we're going to talk about being months ahead of time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is here now from the Pink Seats podcast. We've been locked in all off season, but now the boys are practicing. They're hitting the field. It is go time, and we are ready to break the 2025 season down the way that From the Pink Seats podcast does. I'm Jacob Blaine, producer Keith, Vince Lococo. Tonight we've got a great show, but before we get into the details, I need you to go ahead, subscribe to the show right here on YouTube, right here, right below us. Go ahead and take care of that if you haven't already. We're going to try to get you all involved in the show with the comments. We've got some questions for you guys. Want you to get locked in, but subscribe anywhere you get your podcast from. On the audio side, make sure you do that as well. Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Go ahead and subscribe. Leave us a review as well. But boys, it is time. Football season is here. How we doing?
I'm doing great, man. Just a little sunburnt from getting out those early practice. I'm so grateful that this break in the heat wave finally came. I was at that first practice on Wednesday, and I thought I was going to friggin' melt, man. That was brutal. So nice
Dave
little 20
for the Ville. That's what you did, man.
You can still see a little bit of the hat tan line. So,
oh yeah,
great.
This is always the time of year where, like I always say, I'm very happy not to be in the middle of fall football camp. Went to the lake this weekend instead of having football practice. So I mean, that's always a win. So I'm a little sunburnt as well, but for different reasons.
Yeah. Look at you. Look, I'm so here for Vince Lococo getting lake season, like the most out of it before football, because we all know how locked in you are. You need that boat time, that relaxation.
Dude, we haven't
by
been
the water, man.
but like twice this year between weddings and bachelor trips and
I know
all that
you've
stuff.
Been,
I mean,
look, you've been all over the place. It's like Carmen Sandiego. Where in the world is Vince Lococo this weekend? Like, I mean, you're all over the map, dude.
The alliteration's almost there. Just change it to Vincent Lococo. We got the show.
That's right,
I'm done with the West Coast. That is for sure. I'm not going back.
We know you don't love the West Coast. If you're tuned in, we know that that's a Vince thing. You went out there double fingers to the former Pac-12, so that's what you deserve. No more. You got freaking.
I mean, I did house some in and out. I mean, and we did it. It was pretty funny. They closed at midnight, and we pulled up at 11:58.
So I was going to say, I also got a first time going to In-N-Out story. So went out to Vegas for my bachelor party. My buddies surprised me just completely out of the blue. Vegas trip. Like, they just asked me, like, look, we need you to give us about $1,000 for the bachelor party. We're not going to tell you what. Ended up having a penthouse at the Aria. It was sick. And we finally decided to take a break from the sports book and the casino floor. Like, hey, let's go eat, like 30 some odd hours into the trip. And we see, an In-N-Out. It's only like 3/4 of a mile away. We can just walk. So what they don't tell you about Vegas is, like, the way their road layouts and stuff are is it is not walkable whatsoever. So we had to, like, backtrack half a mile to then, like, walk over this overpass thing to then walk 3/4 of a mile back and then a little bit. So long story short, we passed some people who I don't know if they were still with us laying underneath the bridge. And all of this, by the way, middle of summer, 115 degrees, but it's a dry heat. Nothing was dry about me, soaking wet. And there's just people laying underneath bridges. And we're like, am I going to lose a kidney? So we go through all this, hoof it to In-N-Out. We finally get there, and I might lose some popularity points with some folks. So In-N-Out, not that great.
Oh, I thought that's where you were going with that.
It doesn't stand up to other smash burger spots to me.
Good.
You almost died.
I think it's pretty good. Not worth the
it's
line
not the hype.
that it has out there. I mean, every time I've been, there's been a drive-through line wrapped around the building.
Oh yeah,
it's like it's not that good. It's good. No, it's really good.
So I have that same opinion about another beloved fast food chain, Chick-fil-A. Not worth that hype.
It's not. I'm right there with you.
Unless you want to sponsor us.
We are totally off the rails here very early for a show that was supposed to stay on a time limit this evening. But look, when the boys got to eat, the boys got to eat. You know, we got to get off the rails to talk about food in order to prepare for the football season. Look, in all honesty, the summers for Vince Lococo are spent training his stomach for the weekly fried bologna sandwiches. Like that is a full-time
My stomach
job,
doesn't need any training, Jacob. As you like to say, I eat like a trucker.
You're built different. We've all,
What did I text you guys this past week? The loaded potato Tostito grillers right now on the roller dog next to the roller dogs. That's what you need to get on.
Vince is on the gas station food. But hey, this is Countdown to Kickoff. We are just a couple of weeks away from the 2025 season getting underway, or we are within the month of August. Football will be played this month. Louisville football at home, Cardinal Stadium. We've been around that area. Keith's been down there for practices. Like it you just feel it. It feels like football season. And over the next couple of weeks, guys, we're going to get ready for the season. We're going to break down the offense, the defense, the depth chart, the special teams. We're going to talk about everything that you can imagine between ourselves. We'll have some guests get in here in true From the Pink Seats podcast fashion as we prepare for what should be a very fantastic season. I mean, I literally can't wait. Talking about football today with my wife's family. We're preparing to celebrate my son's birthday tomorrow. We went out, did some pool today, and everyone's excited. Folks are renewing season tickets that haven't been in, a couple of years. The excitement of football is, not to say the last couple of seasons folks haven't been locked in, right? Like we have been, but folks are ready to go in year 3 of Jeff Brohm.
I mean, just to add on to that, and I mean, Jacob, you had the opportunity to get out there Saturday as well for this most recent open practice that was on a weekend. The parking lot was pretty much full. There was nowhere nearby to park, and it was just a solid wall-to-wall of humanity along the sideline where they bring people in to watch an open practice. Like, there's legitimate buzz for this upcoming season. And it's so, as a football guy, especially like someone who's not living and dying with basketball, it is so awesome to see that enthusiasm for the football program.
It really is. It really is. And why would we not be excited headed into this season, in a season where there's going to be 8 home games for Louisville football, a loaded slate. There is a new kind of sheriff in town at the quarterback position in Miller Moss. There are weapons galore at the running back position. The defense, while it lacks in some regards in terms of star power and name, possibly one of the deepest units we've seen so far in 3 years with Jeff Brohm. There is a lot to love. And tonight, guys, we're going to break down the schedule for Louisville football. Of course, we've known about the schedule for a while. And one of the things I love about the show is that we don't just all offseason long just dive into the schedule and predictions in the middle of July, right? Like we try to wait until we get as close to the season with as much information as we have to be able to talk about this stuff. And so tonight we're going to dive into the schedule just weeks away from the season. We have a pretty good idea of what teams are going to be, what Louisville is going to be. And of course, again, 8 home games. That's extremely exciting for Louisville. What else you should know? This season, according to CBS Sports, Louisville has the 9th hardest schedule in the ACC. So if you're talking about where they've been over the last couple of years, this is not the schedule that we've seen, right? Strength of schedule, though, nationally, according to On3, and this was back in June of 2025, 33rd nationally. So, a little bit of a different juxtaposition as to where folks are seeing the ACC as we lead up to the schedule versus where folks are kind of looking at Louisville nationally. Keith, Vince, does anything stand out about the strength of schedule for you guys before we jump into the very specifics of some of the game breakdowns?
Just exactly where I thought we would be with strength of schedule and stuff. Just people don't have a lot of respect for the ACC, obviously, and
sure,
we take a hit with that whenever that conversation comes up. So I'm not surprised by anything. I mean, in true Jeff Brohm fashion, it probably doesn't bother him either.
No, I bet he's lost no sleep. Keith, what do you think, knowing the full college landscape and a lot of the specifics about some of the teams that are in the schedule?
Yeah, so I'm just doing a quick glance over some of the ones. So Chip Patterson, by the way, hasn't been on the show. I'd consider him a friend of at least the Louisville football program because he's one of the few national people out there who actually seems to give us our flowers and respect. He was the one who put this out. Haven't really had an opportunity to full-blown dive into the list, into the schedules, but I know I have no quarrels with some of the items at the top of the list, like Georgia Tech. They have a murderer's row schedule again. Syracuse has another tough route. So being at the middle of the ACC, I don't necessarily mind that, especially I'm someone who's high on the ACC as a whole, where this is a league that of the 17 football playing teams, I wouldn't be shocked if anyone from 15th or above beat any combination of teams in the league. It's a really deep league this year.
And your strength of schedule definitely changes after that week 1. We had that conversation with the EMAC, and if we can if the ACC can win out that week 1, our strength of schedule definitely takes a jump.
Absolutely. That's a great point. That is subject to change, like that as we go, the data changes on that. And for Louisville, it really could kind of, depending on what happens with some of the other teams like Pitt and some of the teams that Keith mentioned, could be kind of in that middle of the pack, potentially taking a jump. That changes a lot of things. So here's the question of the night for the audience listening on YouTube. Of course, engage with us on social at Pink Seats Pod on X, at the State of Lou on Instagram, and all other social platforms. Is Louisville a top 25 team? We're headed towards that season where we're going to get rankings. We're going to get all of that. There's nothing out yet, but as of today, just doing some digging on some, pre-show research, Louisville, according to CBS Sports, 26 in the nation, which, what do you guys think? Like, is that high, low? It feels kind of right for me. I mean, you're losing a lot, you're bringing in a lot, but you also have a lot of 44 new players.
I think 20.
Shuck.
I think we would be 20 to 25
Yeah.
if we knew more about Miller Moss. That is the answer that's how I take that ranking.
So if it's just a raw team overall power ranking, then yeah, basically anywhere, 15 through 35, especially in college football now, you can put those teams in almost any order, and it's not going to be offensive to someone viewing objectively. This is a Louisville podcast. Hell yeah, we're a top 25 team. We're being disrespected putting us at 26. We're going to have one of the most productive offenses in the country. We've got 4 elite weapons at wide receiver. That could be number 1 at 80% of the programs in the country. And we got a quarterback who's going to be able to distribute the ball to all of them.
I love how you
question number 2 for the audience.
Became John Madden as you went on with that.
Oh God, yeah, he definitely did. Question number 2 for the audience is: how many reps of 225 will Keith get whenever he does his NFL combine? Drop that
don't
answer.
You don't get to answer that. You're
not I know.
Right now, you can answer in the comments.
Hop in the YouTube comment.
That's where you can comment.
Jacob, Vince, what would you set the line at? Like knowing what you know, insider information.
Over 6. I would say 6. I would say 6 is 6.
So you're going to set the line 5.5?
Yeah, I think you can get over that too. I think you're definitely going to hit like 9.
I think it depends on what he has for breakfast that day, how much he drank the night before, how much his wife needed him to do that morning before he came to film that. So I'm going to set the bar a little lower, knowing Keith, and I'm going to go because I want you to exceed, man. I want you to outshine.
You're trying. You want the over to hit.
Yeah, I'm going to go 4.5.
All right. So we've got the line at 4.5, line at 6.5. I like this.
Yeah.
What's the 40? What's the 40 time? That's that's another
6.5.
All I'm saying is, if I feel anything even mildly start to get tight, I am pulling up immediately.
I'm also going to run a 40 just because I've always wanted to know. Like, I just want to know. It's not going to look pretty, so I'm going to also run a 40. And Vince is also going to run a 40, and we're going to find out. Like, we might not release that to the public. All right, back on topic. Let's dive into the schedule. Is Louisville a top 25 team? Let us know in the comments here on YouTube and, of course, on social. What's the game this season that you're most confident in when you look at the schedule? Because as I mentioned, the strength of schedule is, depending on who you ask, it's filled with 8 home games, which typically means you're probably going to be playing a couple of teams that you feel pretty confident in which you got Eastern Kentucky that fits that mold, Bowling Green. I'm in the boat that if you're worried about James Madison, you're worried about the wrong things, because as much as I believe that team is really good and very well coached, and they have a quarterback who is dynamic, can run, he can throw, they bring in a lot of talent. If we're worried about James Madison, this isn't the team we thought it was. I'm just going to say that now. And Keith, you're a football nerd, and I can't see you right now in front of me, but I would imagine you might be cringing a little bit. But I'm just going to say, when you have those games on your schedule, you feel good about them. And then, of course, when you look at some of the other games, you have Boston College, you have, California, Kentucky is a game that I think none of us are super worried about. When you finally get that monkey off of your back, and they're a team that's projected to win roughly about 3 to 4 games. So you feel good about a lot of games, but of course there's the Miamis and the Virginia Techs, the SMUs, Pittsburghs. What like when you look at the schedule outside of the games that you should win, what's the game that maybe like folks are talking about that you are the most confident in that other people aren't? For me, it's the James Madison. as well as SMU. And I think part of that is because Vince and I are going to be there cheering our asses off in Dallas. But what are the games that you're just really confident in, maybe that other people aren't?
For me, I would definitely go Kentucky as being the one I'm probably the most confident in, being that it's at home. Like you said, we got the monkey off our back last year. All the vibes, everything kind of swinging back over to our direction. So I feel confident in that one. I also feel confident in Cal coming in at home. Really, any of these home games I feel good about. And now, if it's going to be a noon kickoff, that would be my next kind of de facto. Are we going to wake up for a Cal? Is Cal on a Saturday or Friday?
Yeah, it's on a Saturday.
Cal's Saturday.
Okay, so will we wake up for a nooner against Cal? We know that's not going to be at like 7. We know that's not going to be an 8 o'clock kickoff.
So I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball for you all here. Mm-hmm. Hear me out on this.
Okay.
Miami. I am weirdly confident for that game because these Jeff Brohm teams.
And it's because Carson Beck is their quarterback. Like, let's just throw that out there now. At least for me,
Jeff
they
Brohm
still have a
teams,
stud defense, boys. Let's not forget Ruben Baines breathing down our neck.
Go ahead, Keith. No, go ahead. Yeah, he's got the facts.
Jeff Brohm teams get up for big games, and we're coming off of a bye week, and it's a Friday night road game at Hard Rock. That's already a city that struggles to really pack that building out for the college football team. Hell, even the NFL team at this point with how bad they've been.
We don't have to touch that, kid. We don't have to touch that. Sore subject on this pod.
But this is also a Miami team that if things don't go right very early in the schedule, they could be in 1, 2, 3 Cancun mode very early. They have Notre Dame. They have Notre Dame to start the season. Notre Dame, another team who potentially has national championship aspirations. If you lose to Notre Dame at home to start the season, that already puts you on the back foot. Then they have a get-right game against Bethune-Cookman. Then USF, who Alabama struggled with last year. They are a team that constantly give people headaches. Do I think they lose there? No. They have to then go play Florida, another very talented team. Who knows? People are saying DJ Lagway's that dude. I want to see it. If Harrison Bailey's starting for the Gators, I'm taking the Gators by $1 billion. But then bye week at Florida State. Now, this is the one where I think a lot of people are assuming Miami win, where I'm not so fast.
Oh, you're on Tommy C's train. He's on it.
So the offense that they're going to be running, it utilizes a lot of Tom Castellano's strengths. And then they also, let's not forget, they got Squirrel Wright and Deuce Robinson, wide receivers out there. They've got guys they can throw the ball to. If they drop 2 of those first 5 games, that's a team that I would not be shocked immediately goes into phoning it in the rest of the year, because your goals are already just about shot at that point. So it's a weird situation where we're coming in, we're well rested. I know Miami has a bye week too, but I'd rather have both teams at 100% than us at 90, 95. So we're coming off rest into a sleepy stadium.
See, that's where I was getting at. It's not necessarily, it's hard to play at, and it's not because of the people. It's not because of the fans that are there cheering for Miami. Exactly. They're gonna walk in, and I mean, I would not be surprised if a lot of guys are big-eyed, like, wow, Hard Rock Stadium. Oh my God, look at all the Miami stuff is literally like taped over top of the Dolphins stuff. So if the wind hits it hard, you're going to be looking at Dolphins stuff. I mean, that's what I was looking at on this. I was like, wow, look at all that stuff. This is a crappy stadium. Blah blah blah. All this, I mean, it's just you get enamored by the fact that you're in an NFL spot.
That's true, but I mean, the thing is over the last couple of years, and obviously this doesn't apply to the players playing here, but guys, we've gone to Nashville and played at Nissan Stadium. They've played, obviously things didn't go well at Pittsburgh, which I'm going to get to touch on that here in a second.
But we can pack out Nissan Stadium. A lot more fans are going to say, oh, I'll giddy up and go to Nashville to go watch the cars at Nissan Stadium, opposed to ponying up and going to Miami. I mean, that's a haul for people where we could make a weekend trip out of Nashville.
I would encourage fans to look at those flights. They're not as expensive as you'd think they would. Now, the experience in South Beach, you might get a great hotel and you might leave with a girl with a BBL. I'm not sure, what might happen. And maybe that benefits you. I don't know. We'll see. But
maybe that's your thing.
Yeah, maybe that's your thing. But it's Carson Beck's thing, which is why I feel confident in Louisville as well. I'm going to go to another NFL stadium. And I've been thinking a lot about this. But like the return game to Pittsburgh feels personal, and only for like us, like as in Louisville. No one else nationally is going to have any reason to believe why. I feel like Jeff Brohm is going to be pissed off the second that week hits where people are doubting him. He's going to just replay the Jack
First
Brohm
road
stuff
game
over and over again. Like he's just going to be pissed off. And that game might be like the equivalent of the Louisville Cincinnati game however many years ago where it was like 77-7 where everyone's like, why the hell did they just run the score up like that? It's like a personal game to Jeff to get back.
This is for Renato.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Have Renato lead them off the bus like with the flag. Like, dude, I'm here for that. Like, we're coming back to conquer Pittsburgh. And it feels weird to say that. And I say that jokingly, but that game, I think everyone walked away. We've talked about that on the show with so many different people about that. What was weird about that, and with Renato going down in warm-ups, I've said for 3 years now, it just felt like everyone was terrified to move at full speed.
They had a voodoo curse on the field that day. Somebody did a spell. Yeah,
I've never seen a slower Louisville team in my life, and I think they're going to go up there. It's going to be personal for the guys that are still here that lost that game. That's the game that, like, when you're talking about the games that are not the EKUs and James Madison's or Bowling Green, I feel very confident with that one. I think they're going up there with a mission. And Louisville has not played well at Pittsburgh historically. Like, you've heard for years, the footing is not great. The field sucks. It's just not a good experience. Vince talked about in 2020 how quiet it was with COVID. Like, it's been 5-6 years now of just inconsistency up there, and I think that this year they go and they conquer their
It's
demons.
so inconsistent really that Permanente Burroughs is not even what it used to be. It's just kind of a mid-level sandwich.
Right, exactly. But I think I'm gonna probably take the trip up there this year to Pittsburgh.
It's a cool city, man. It's definitely
my
cool
mom
spot.
and family are from Pittsburgh. You know, my mom loves to go back and just point out all of the like things where her childhood were, and we did that.
That's awesome.
Years ago for football in the NFL. So I'd love to go back this year. So transitioning to the games you're least confident in, and I'm going to say this: keep the Clemsons out of mind here. Like,
I'm hammering one right here. I'm not even going Clemson. I'm going.
Okay, what do you got?
Tech. Virginia Tech is the game I'm most nervous about.
We're gonna get into trap games
scares
too,
the shit out of me. Scares the shit out of me. It definitely does. That is the only reason. Crowd effect. I just think that's gonna be a big game.
Vince is gonna cry in the club. Like if you were to go in that game, like Vince, just like football experience, Vince is just gonna.
I'll have a Virginia Tech shirt on the first whenever they're running out. I'll flip on my UL stuff or a Metallica shirt. That'd be better.
So you can just like jump, just enjoy. Yeah.
What is this Louisville fan doing over here jumping around?
He's just always wanted to experience Enter Sandman. What do you think, Keith?
Well, I'm gonna
without giving your trap game away too. Also, let me keep that in mind because that's of course, that's where we all clearly feel a little bit of confidence leaking out. But what do you think? Just game you're least confident in overall.
Well, now that I've had my previous take about how I'm most confident I'm Miami. Now my least confident in Miami. Okay. No, but just the bad juju, bad vibes game. I mean, a lot of people.
Where is it
going to be?
Yeah.
I agree with you entirely on James Madison. I was going to try and do the Lee Corso bit of like leading up, making you think I was going to say that.
Sorry to ruin that.
I'm right there with you. If we are a team that has the aspirations of making the playoff, you can't lose to a non-P4 team. That should be a game you're confident rolling into every time. Man,
I just like
the vibes are weird about that Virginia game, man. I don't know why. It's like the week before a bye week off. It's only like a 3-week stretch that we're going into that game. That's a weird one. It's one that I don't think the crowd's necessarily going to be particularly enthusiastic about. Like,
damn it, Keith, you're giving all of my trap game material away, man. But
so I'm going to go Virginia, and we'll lead you. Go ahead and go into why it's your trap game.
I mean, that's a great thing. But I'm like the week that Louisville plays James Madison, there's going to be all the fans like, oh, we just got to really worry about that. I need Vince to go full scorched earth on Twitter and just like, shut the fuck up, like just giving it to fans for worrying about that game, man.
Yeah, just like type them all out. Yeah. Take screenshots so you have the date and the clock, so you have the confidence, so you can post after. Let people go out and work. Like friend of the show, Mike Rutherford, super worried about the James Madison game.
He's not. No, he's not. That's radio content. Come on,
that's
Mike.
Radio content.
Come on,
look,
Mike. Let's be honest with
like,
each other, Mike.
For a second, and Keith, you know better than I. Like their quarterback is if he is back and healthy, he is dynamic. And
Guys,
running quarterbacks have not been great to us as a Louisville defense.
Guys, I don't want to give away the bit, but I want people to be worried about that, to encourage more people to come to the game, to be more vocal and to be more active and to have that desperation. Stop burying the lead.
Yeah, and I just hope the games aren't 1,000,000 degrees outside. That's all.
Yeah, that's right.
Hope.
But James Madison in 2022 was the most beautiful football game, like in terms of the sky, in terms of like just the environment. It felt like our own App State in terms of just like what it looked like aesthetically. And then they freaking did everything they could to run away from Yasir Abdullah and had the ball for like 90% of the game, and Louisville just snuck out with the victory. And
all I'm saying, so if there are any University of Louisville students tuning into this podcast, if no one manages to sneak some sort of Ashley Madison sign into that game as a joke, I'm going to be very disappointed. I'm going to be out at the college tailgate trying to make some content with you all. If you want to get your Ashley Madison jokes in there, please feel free. I'm giving you over a month of prep time at this point.
Keith, those kids don't know about Ashley Madison.
Thank you.
Those kids were, bro.
Thank you, Vince.
Kids are smarter than you think.
You just showed your age.
They're going to be like, who's this old fart over here?
Who is Ashley
Kids are smarter than you think.
Where's her OnlyFans? Like, that's what they're going to be asking. So trap game. We talked about this, and this is kind of, like switching gears a little bit, but you mentioned the Virginia game. That is a game. I talked about this a couple weeks ago on the radio with Dalton Pence and with Roman. And this game historically has not been good to Louisville, dating all the way back to 2014 with Michael Lee Harris dropping the punt on the road in Charlottesville. There was the game winner from Lamar Jackson to Jalen Smith, which is arguably one of the greatest plays we've seen in our era of Louisville football. A couple of years ago, even, you flash back to Calandria just dicing Louisville up, taking Jack Plummer, throwing a 60-plus yard touchdown to Amari Huggins-Bruce, and Isaac Garendo having the game of his career at Louisville, running all over that defense late in the game. Virginia's never been good to Louisville. And here's the scary part about Virginia, and Keith, you can attest to this. This might be the most talented Virginia team we've seen in quite some time. From quarterback, running back, defense, skill positions. It's going to be a scary game, and it's coming off that Pittsburgh game on the road. It's coming before a bye. It's coming before Miami. Can I interest you in the smell of trap game?
Oh, 100%. And the biggest spooky thing about this Virginia lineup is they don't have that sort of big-time star name on the roster, but what you said is true. Like, it's a very, very deep lineup when it comes to good football players. And on the offensive side, they're led by probably the biggest star on their team. I'm telling y'all now, Chandler Morris is going to be a problem.
Yeah. That's a big time.
That's
a big good, man. Tradition. That's right. And, they've always had weapons, and even when they're not great, they've had the Malik Washingtons of the world. And here's the other thing, like motivation wise, we don't talk about this enough. Coaches on the hot seat. Tony Elliott's 1 year away from being back at Clemson with Dabo Swinney, guys.
Yeah, it's bowler bust.
For sure.
That's right. He's been an absolute failure so far in Charlottesville based off of what they hoped he would be following the kind of surprise retirement of Bronco Mendenhall and how successful they were for those kind of that stretch at the end. He's been retired very good
1 year.
Right. Before it's like Urban Meyer. Like, where's the legal problems? Except for he didn't have it. They just were giving out bad numbers to players. You got a quarterback number 98. What the fuck y'all doing over there? But he's 1 year away from being back at Clemson with Dabo and Tom Allen. And I think that matters in terms of trying to prove himself as a head coach. We know he's a great offensive mind. Calandria has been a turnover machine, but also like flashy at times. Obviously, we saw that the hard way, but that game just scares me. It always has scared me. Vince will be in my ear like, man, you don't even know about Virginia. And I'm like, fuck, I wasn't even thinking about it. And now it's all I can think about. So that's where I'm at this year. Vince, what do you think? Trap
it's just
game.
always because like whenever I was around I never was concerned about Virginia until we played after the game. I'm like, why is it always just a tough fucking game?
Like,
for
what
no
just
reason?
happened? Like, we're
Yeah,
so
like,
much
what?
better than them
We're so
on
much
paper.
like with Lamar. You mentioned that Jalen Smith catch. We were so much better than that Virginia team. It's like, what are we even doing out there?
But they always have a stud outside linebacker, edge rusher, a stud wide receiver, and a stud offensive guard. Like, that's their recipe always.
I'm calling my shot now. Biggest star on this Virginia team that isn't Chandler Morris. They have a tight end whose name is Dakota Twitty.
Nobody was asking that, first of all. And that was also like a big-time Gunnar Brewer recruit for years at Louisville, like as a wide receiver. Also, nobody was asking for that. That's Keith's, like, here's a little football I'm going to inject in you on this. You didn't even see that coming. Like,
that's going to be a trivia question one day. Somebody's going to be like, fuck, thank God Keith told me that.
Keith's like, Dakota Twitty! What do you got?
Yeah. A trap game, I would probably – my trap games depend – more on like time variance. Like if it's a noon kickoff, I definitely don't feel good about anything that's a noon kickoff, just because of how hard it is to wake up and go out and do all that.
Not for you. Your stomach wakes you up. Like, where is that fried bologna sandwich? I need it right now.
Right. I'm good, but I mean at the same time, fans might not show up. The nooners are tough. I would.
We need 5-star to sponsor the show so that we can get everyone up.
Is Cal my trap game? Cal or BC?
Ooh,
maybe.
You told us not to pick BC earlier.
I know. I did. I definitely did.
BC's
mainly because they're the boring. Mainly because they're the boring teams.
Yeah.
And if we played those teams at noon, it's like, I feel good about this schedule though.
So Vince, I'm going to piggyback off you. Cal is my trap game. I know. This is a Cal team that has talent on their roster. They got picked apart by the transfer portal, but they brought a ton of stuff in, including a 5-star freshman quarterback. Now, they also have a schedule that if could potentially shake out, they could be a 6 or 7 win team by the time we get there. I'm picking it for the trap game for another reason. And rather than it being the time of the game, just where it slots out. Cause it's like right in the middle of that 7-game gauntlet that we have to end the season. It's right after the Virginia Tech game, which is going to be a big emotional get up. And it's right before that 3-week gauntlet of Clemson at SMU and the Kentucky game. So it's
I can see guys getting real high going to play Virginia Tech and then the lull of having
Why? Is it just that seems like just such a lure. Like Virginia Tech has not been good really for a while. Why are we getting hyped to go to Virginia Tech?
Because of the lore.
Inner Sandman.
Yeah, because you got one song that plays before the game starts.
Yeah, my dad said the same thing. He's like, you want to go to this game because of one song? I'm like,
bro,
yes.
I bet you Renee Conga has no idea what Inner Sandman is. I would be willing to bet you that freaking Clev Lubin has never heard Inner Sandman. I'm telling you now, man. No, they don't know. They don't know.
There is something about going up. I mean, they packed the house.
They've heard about Mark Ivy talk about it. They've heard Mark Ivy. But they're all like, the fuck, Blacksburg,
Ivy's sitting over here. He's saying, y'all heard of Stu Holt? That my guy Stu Holt's over there. Y'all should be scared as fuck. That's exactly what he said.
Who the fuck names their kid Stu? No, Keith, here's a real niche question for you, okay? Who is, when Louisville plays California, who is the starting quarterback at Cal? Is it Devin Brown or is it 5-star freshman transfer Jerron Kawi Sagapudaletti?
Kiawe.
Okay. That wasn't close. Nobody thought I was going to get that. So,
wow.
Yeah, Jerron Kiawe. I think
Sagapudaletti. Say the last one. Say it.
Hold on, let me get it. Yeah, Sagaputele.
Okay, there we go.
Actually, Sagapulutele.
Shot my CTA.
We know you're an accent extraordinary. Who's the quarterback?
That's who. It's going to be a weird thing where it's sort of. I haven't been too plugged into Cal training camp yet, so that's part of my preseason homework to dive in. But I could easily see a situation where Devin Brown struggles early in the year, and they bring Jerron Kiawe in there to try and make something happen. And this is a talented kid, man. Clearly. Like, he was initially committed to Cal, flipped to Oregon, went to Oregon for a spring ball, and then Cal came right back after they got Riverboat Ron as the GM. I assume they put more on the table to bring in as an offer to get this kid in the program because he's got talent. And like, as you all know, if there's one thing I'm scared of in college football, it's bona fide talent.
That's right.
Is he a talent or is he a complainer?
Yeah,
He just couldn't make it at Oregon, and he complained his way out.
That's such a Vince question.
Vince, you know how the college football recruiting scene is and how hard it is for kids on the island to go out and get seen.
That's true.
For a kid to be Hawaiian and be a 5-star quarterback, that kid can friggin' ball.
He's very good. Also,
but we also know that our favorite quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa, was a 5-star, and you and I are sitting over here.
Hey,
that's
he was
not how your man says it. How'd your man say it again? How'd he say it? Tagovailoa. How do you?
Tagovailoa?
Yeah, right. No,
it doesn't matter. I'm all in on whatever his name, Quinn Ewers. I'm all in on him.
Yeah, big Dolphins fan over here. But also back on the Cal topic, I've been saying this for a while now. By the time Louisville plays Cal, Ron Rivera will be the head coach. Justin Wilcox is the Stan Van Gundy of this team, while my man is the Pat Riley, if you will. So that's going to be a fun situation to watch. There's a lot of fun ACC storylines. When you get into this schedule and we talk about overall where Louisville is, without giving away kind of our predictions and where Louisville goes, what's the first loss for you guys? Because we think I would believe we think that they're far and few between this season, somewhere between 2 to 4. We'll see when we get to the predictions episode where we all fall. But I assume no one's thinking Louisville's going undefeated, and I assume no one thinks Louisville's losing more than 4 or 5 games. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. But for now, what's the first loss for Louisville for you guys? Keith, what do you think when you look at the schedule? Who is the game where you drop the first game? And I'm going to put you on the spot here because Miami is early on in the season where you might have to show your cards here. You might contradict everything you said the first 2 questions you got.
That is true.
Well, because this isn't my official record prediction, allow me to I don't want to take the headset off, but I was going to put a hat on and say Homer, Keith, engage. We're not fucking losing. Ohio State in the playoffs. That's who our first loss. Now,
gosh.
Realistically, I think the first loss is probably Clemson, just because.
Wow.
I know.
That's one.
Hey,
dude, you're talking about 8-0.
Yeah,
at that point.
I'm very well aware.
Our excuse my language, Mom, if you're listening, but our boners are going to be so big that YouTube's going to ban us if we're 8-0.
I will be insufferable if we're going into Clemson at 8-0. Insufferable.
Vince is going to get the Florida State treatment a couple of years ago where we go for like 80,000 listens on our episode because their fan base just circulates his really bad take. Like that. Go ahead, Keith.
Oops. No, I think that potentially shakes up as the first loss of the season. Now, this is me operating under the guise of Jeff Brohm finally figures it out, and we don't have the what the fuck just happened game.
The trap game doesn't happen. Right.
Yeah. So, and we make it to this home stretch. We're dialed in. We're locked in, focused. Clemson's just a team that is just filled to burst with talent. And that's an electric atmosphere, hopefully, that we have them coming into. Mm-hmm. But it's also potentially number 1 overall draft pick quarterback, potential Heisman winning quarterback, 2 5-star wide receivers with more relief on the way. They got the number 1 edge rusher in the transfer portal with Will Helt coming in as well for help. That is a really, really good Clemson team that I think is a national championship contender. And those teams are just really friggin' hard to beat. So
I'm going with Miami.
Okay, I like it. Why is that?
I just think the lull of having to play in that boring ass stadium.
On a Friday after a bye.
On a Friday, having to fly there. I think it's going to be boring. Maybe a Cavender twins in front row, so our guys aren't focused.
Yeah. What about the guys going home though? Like, what's the true impact of that? You've been on a team with a lot of.
It's more stressful than it is anything because guys are trying to get 20, 30 some odd tickets to get everybody and their mother, rightfully so, that can come and watch them play who's supported it over the years, but. It's really stressful for a lot of those guys. I know games on Friday. We'll get there Thursday. That Thursday that they get there, I mean, it'll be a hotel full of locals that are all around that area and everything. So there's a lot of factors that play into that. Homer me is definitely more on Key's side where I'm like, we can definitely run the table up until Clemson. I just don't know. I'm not sure if like Key said, if Jeff can get everything rolling in the right track, we could be 8-0 going into Clemson.
Oh, wait. You guys think it was the regular season one? No, I was talking about Clemson in the ACC title game.
Oh.
We got the road disadvantage playing in Charlotte.
Man.
That's the
I
clip.
love it.
That's the
I
ultimate
love
or the
that.
ultimate turn right there. That's the Martin Scorsese twist that you didn't see coming at the end. That's
M. Night
incredible.
Shyamalan ain't got shit on me.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's
They
good,
were
bro.
alive the whole time. No, I'm right there with you. And I mean, that's a good question and a good topic that I didn't even really think of until now. Is like, how long does Louisville go being undefeated? I mean, if you're some of the fans or some of the people that worry about early on Pittsburgh, Virginia, Miami, I mean, it may be, week 6, week 8 ish, but when you get that first loss, and maybe, depending on what happens, some people think earlier, but
I like Bring Brown
shit.
Guys schedule breakdown. It's just all W's. Have you seen his schedule post?
Oh.
It's pretty good.
Hey, now we're being too positive, guys. I think this team needs someone to step up and be a hero to give them some bulletin board material. So clear, let me ISO. I'll tell you when Louisville's first loss of the season is going to be. Louisville's first loss, it's coming this month to the Eastern Kentucky Colonels. This is a team that isn't playing with focus. This is a team that's looking sloppy, that hasn't been going out and really trying that hard in practice. You're going to get showed up, and it's going to look terrible.
Bro, if that happens, we'll be throwing football across the stadium come JMU. Because there won't be anybody in that fucking place.
You assume I'll still be above ground by the time JMU happens. We lose to Eastern.
From the
I might have an aneurysm.
I'm gonna go ahead
We
and
wouldn't have
pretty
any
sure our
issues
fans
with
listen.
audio out there doing live shows. That's for damn
right.
sure.
Yeah, that's right. Man, we were talking about 2018 type of season. You lose to EKU. Sorry, Vince. That's right. Question to kind of close us out here and kind of start to put the bow on the present of the 2025 schedule. When you talk about Clemson, obviously last year what Louisville did was beyond impressive. That's what you bring Jeff Brohm to town to do. It's what you thought you'd get with the Ohio State win and a couple of the other big top 10, top 15 wins that Jeff had at Purdue. And finally, you get the monkey off of your back. You go to Death Valley, and not only do you go to Death Valley, but you dominate from the start to finish. Tyler flips over some guys. Isaac puts the mascot to sleep. It's just a record book night. You get a hell of some memes out of it. But this year, Clemson is kind of back. We talked about this with EMAC. This is a team with one of the best quarterbacks in the country, regardless of what you feel about Cade Klubnik. He's got a defense that feels like an old Clemson defense. He's got a lot of talent around
back
him.
in the saddle.
That's right. That's right. And Christian Wilkins might be out doing butt stuff. They might have that back on their sideline. But can Louisville get 2 wins in a row against Clemson is the question. Vince, what do you think?
I think it's definitely possible. I think we can get 2, especially with this being at home. I'd feel a lot different if we would have won at home last year and had to go to their place this year. Vibes are in the right direction. We all know Jeff gets up for very big games. I would not be surprised if we do beat Clemson. And yeah, I'm going to hold off on what I'm about to say for the sake of the next question.
Yeah, that's right. That's a good way to tease. Listen in a couple of weeks when we predict that game.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you, Vince. Especially on the offensive side of the ball, we have the talent to hang with anybody when it comes to just putting up points. We have incredibly deep wide receiver room, especially the tip top of the depth chart. Outside of maybe Ohio State, I'd put our guys up against just about any 4 deep in the country, and I'd like our guys. So we're going to be able to score. Can our defense hold on in games like that? And can just the depth and the health of the team survive the grind of a long, dragging college football season? It's a short week. It's going to be a Friday night. And this is a game, especially if we pack the place like I know we have. If we have that 2023 Notre Dame atmosphere, they're in a team in the country we can't beat.
Right. Well, and you talk about the way you guys have talked about this season potentially going, where Louisville is got 8 home games. They might potentially go undefeated up until that game, which would be their 10th game of the season. That environment against a Clemson, which would probably be, if you look at that schedule, the first major home game, potentially it's on a Friday night, which kind of limits things, but maybe potentially an all-time great environment, depending on where things stack up if they're undefeated. I mean, you're talking, I don't mean to be hyperbolic here. If Louisville and Clemson are as good as we think they are, and Louisville's undefeated at that point, boys, that's a blackout Virginia type of atmosphere. Like that is all timer.
Yeah, like regardless of if it's a Friday night, if we're going into that game 9-0, 8-0, whatever the schedule shakes out to be, and Clemson is national championship good. People are taking half days on Friday, getting out to the stadium or like getting ready. We're breaking an attendance record.
If my boss is listening, just go ahead and mark that as a half day.
Mark
for
that
your
one
boy.
down as a half day.
But like, think about that. Like, think about all of the great environments that we've had. The Florida State in 2016, talking about some of the last couple of years with Notre Dame.
2019 was awesome. 23 was awesome.
Notre Dame 2019, that's a loss, which kind of dampers things. But I will say that the first two Juwan pass touchdowns are arguably the loudest I've heard that building in my lifetime, which is a sentence I probably won't say ever again on this show. But like, that's true. That game, that environment, that week, you're talking about Louisville getting ready to enter in the toughest part of their schedule. What's on the line? Louisville, you have college football playoff rankings at that point. If Louisville is undefeated going into that Friday night game, national television, ESPN, that will be one of the most electric environments you will ever have in all time at Cardinal Stadium, regardless of the opponent, regardless of the day of the week, boys. That will be like you tell your grandkids, your kids where you were that night type of environment.
100%.
That says that from a guy who was there in 2005 against West Virginia. I will never forget that game. Like that, it was so cold. But I still have the Shane Coe bag that they gave us, the drawstring bag. I still have the blackout shirt from that game. Dude, that is a all-timer for me as a, 12-year-old kid. That's an all-timer. And there will be a lot of folks who say the same thing if Louisville goes into that game against Clemson the way that it is. So all that to say, I'm just going to quickly do this. This is very much pardon my take. What's the show? PTI. Pardon the interruption on ESPN. What's the word? I'm going to ask you this question, and it may seem like a silly question that's very obvious, like, oh, you're undefeated, but think about it for a second and try to give a thoughtful answer if you can, okay? Louisville makes it to Charlotte, in parentheses, the ACC championship, if blank. And you could say, what's the answer?
If they handle all the games that they're supposed to handle. And meaning that they're going to have to win one of the two, being Clemson and SMU. Or one of the three, Clemson, SMU, and Miami. Those are the three. You're going to have to handle all the game, handle your business and all the other games, and those are your three toss-ups. I think you're going to have to win two of those at least.
Yeah. I'm going to say if Louisville beats Clemson. And I think that that game could end up being potentially, the way that the ACC is structured, a rematch, right? Like Louisville could play Clemson again in the ACC championship. But I think that the way the schedule goes, Louisville could go 11-1 and lose to Clemson. I just don't think that that's the way that goes. I think that game is going to be the definer of if this is a playoff team. So I'm going to say that Louisville goes to Charlotte to play in the ACC championship if they beat Clemson.
Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach on this. They make it to the ACC title game if the secondary is good. Doesn't have to be elite.
I like that.
Doesn't have to be great.
Yeah.
Just be good. Good enough to keep us alive in games. I am very, very high on our offense. I think we're going to be able to score with anybody. Don't be a liability. Just go out there, keep us in games, let the offense outscore people. And then if they can be good enough, because we're going to force teams to be one-dimensional. I have all the faith in the world in our front seven.
Got to force some turnovers.
Just be good.
Eliminate big plays. That's another way to say that, Keith. Eliminate the big plays.
And look, we talked about this as well. And we're going to get into it as we kind of transition and preview the offense and defense. But bringing back Ron English was certainly a choice. That was certainly a choice. And the recruiting and the way that things shake out with the secondaries is going to be very telling of how things play out. Right. But there's a lot to get into, man. There is so much more to get into. Stay locked in over the next couple of weeks from the Pink Seats podcast as we dive into all the offseason, or kind of put a bow on the offseason and head into the season with Louisville playing EKU August 30th, guys. We are so close. We're so close.
Stay tuned to the website. You might see that fullbacks can read and write.
Fullbacks can read and they can write. Maybe they use AI. Maybe that's your job.
I don't believe in AI. You know how I voted. That's ridiculous. I'm joking.
Allen Iverson was a very talented guard, Vince.
That's
You
right.
shouldn't be this guy.
That's right. All right, Keith, you have 30 seconds to give me Keith time. What do we got?
What are you talking about? Season ticket holder gifts. We've seen it recently going out that the Vegas Raiders sent out an absolutely sick book of actual physical ticket stubs for their season ticket holders. Josh Hurd, if this somehow clip ends up in front of you, physical ticket stubs. They don't even have to be functional. Just physical tickets for people to hold on to for memories would make an absolutely exceptional and low-cost season ticket holder gift. My one regret of the 2023 Notre Dame game is that I don't have a physical ticket to put in a shadow box with some of the photographs of that game and some of the memorabilia. And that's such an easy way to earn so much goodwill with season ticket holders. Bring back physical tickets for season ticket holders.
Whoa, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? I'm talking about WWE. That's what I love to talk about. This past weekend, SummerSlam, Seth Rollins had one of the best cash-ins for Money in the Bank. As you know, as we know on this show, I've had 2 ACL surgeries, and Seth was over here selling an ACL tear, and he turns around on these crutches, and his music just hits, and he cashes in on the Money in the Bank and wins the World Heavyweight Championship. And John Cena turned back into a good guy, which is always awesome. Good to have the GOAT back.
Yeah, as he goes into retirement. I don't really have anything here. I will say the funniest thing that I've experienced in quite some time was last week hosting Mark Ennis' show, The Caller calling in, just totally switching gears on us and RIPing Hulk Hogan in the middle of a sports talk radio show while we're talking Louisville Fall Camp was arguably one of the funniest things that I've been a part of. I've never been on
I
a
can only imagine
radio
yours
show.
in Matt's face whenever that dude.
Bro, it was so good. Matt doesn't have a wrestling background, so he just know like a lore for Hulk Hogan. We end up talking about WrestleMania 3. Just great moment.
I don't want to hear shit, bro, because I was tuned in on that. Not to butt in. I was tuning in, texting on the text line. Appreciate you replying to a couple of my text messages. You don't listen to Ozzy Osbourne. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Sorry.
Yeah, we got to have, that's just a separate mini episode we got to have educating you on Ozzy, man.
Look, I could go on a list of things that I've never done, seen, or thought about that would surprise you. I've never seen The Godfather. I have never seen The Matrix. I have never watched Star Wars. I have never...
You've never seen Godfather or Star Wars? Any of them?
Nope, but I have seen Sweet Home Alabama 50 times. I don't know what that says about me.
All right, I'm going to come over once a week. Liam and I are going to have a movie night so that he doesn't grow up the same way you did.
Great way to end the show.
We can't do that to him.
To end the show right here, I'll get the last couple of seconds. What am I talking about? My sweet boy, my Liam Jeffrey turns 4 tomorrow. Cannot believe it. Took him out to practice this weekend. We didn't last very long, just about 30 minutes. But I got a picture inside the Traeger Center. Got to toss the ball around. He literally physically ran into Chris Hughes in the parking lot. Chris Hughes was like, awesome. My bad, buddy. Like, it was a great moment for me. I forgot Chris is number 14 now and not whatever he was 48. Last year, 48, 49. But no, shout out to my boy, big 4-year-old. We're getting ready to start, preschool back up and potty train, man. We're growing up. So
my dad and Liam,
proud
birthdays.
That's right. Man.
My dad and Liam have my dad's birthdays tomorrow too.
All right. Well, those are great people. I truly believe that. Shout out to David, man. Love David. Old. Shout out to the Little Coco family. Let's get out of here from the Pink Seats podcast. Stay locked in. We'll be back looking at the offense, defense. We'll have some guests joining us to talk football. We are just a couple of weeks away. Subscribe anywhere you get your shows. Ladies and gentlemen, go Cards.